Hey everyone, Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys another old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into an album that, well, I'm actually going to see them play all these songs from this album in its entirety for, they say it's the 15th anniversary, but technically this should be the 16th anniversary since this album was released in 2002. And I know a lot of people are probably going to give me shit for this, and I'm probably going to lose some subscribers, but fuck it, I don't care. It's just a nostalgic album for me, and I'm just one of those bands that really got me into like music or harder sounding bands anyway. And as you can see below the title, today we're going to be looking into Does This Look Infected by Sum 41. This is the band's second full length album. This was released in 2002 under Island Records. Now, Sum 41 definitely doesn't need an introduction if you're a fan of like pop punk or punk rock or any of that. They've been around since 1996. They formed it in Ajax, Ontario, in Canada. And these guys been around since like really started getting their names going in like the early 2000s when they put out their first EP, Half Hour for Power, which I thought was a solid EP. And then the year after that, in 2001, they put out their debut full-length album, All Killer No Filler, which has sort of like more of a happier edge, sort of like the typical pop punk, which had like classics of the album such as like Fat Lip, Motivation, and stuff. Had like lyrically and musically, it's more happier and poppier. Had like skateboarding and getting dumped, typical pop punk stuff. But here we are in 2002 with their second full length Does This Look Infected. Now with this album compared to like their previous two I mentioned, like with this album you could definitely tell like it's more down to earth and it has like more of a serious vibe, like especially and darker kind of like tone to it, and a little bit more heavier side, almost metalish. Like I know that these guys also have like a little bit of metal in them, especially which makes them stand out from like all the other bands like Blink 182, Green Day from around that time. Like especially like their guitar player Dave Baksh, like he's a really big metal fan. Like you could definitely tell like they have like the harder and metal edge to it, which I think is pretty awesome. And like in my honest opinion, I think this is my favorite album of theirs. And like I said, I'm seeing them play this album on Thursday, which is like the only reason why I'm interested in seeing them, which is awesome. Like the production on this album is really great. It's produced by Greg Norrie. Uh, like the production is superb. Like everything is where it needs to be. Vocal work is pretty solid from Derek Whibley. His vocals are really good on this album. You could definitely feel like what he's singing about, and the guitar wise from him and Dave Baksh are pretty good. You could like just like Dave's like solos and leads and stuff is great, and like the riffs Derek comes up with is great. Bass is pretty audible. You can definitely hear Cohn's bass pretty well, and the drumming from former drummer Steve Yox, or as he also is commonly known as Steve 32, who is pretty superb. Urban, yeah. Without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, the album opens up with the Hell Song, which in my opinion is probably a pretty good opener. It's very medium paced and has typical lyrics from many pop punk bands, but it's not like typical for Sum 41. One, like I said before, like the former CDs were more happier and poppier. Like this is more of like the down to earth, serious, darker, and it tells it like it is. And the open or has like some really nice instrumentals and variations with the vocals. It sort of ranges from fast to low and sort of like slow keyed. And the ending of the song has some really harmonic wailing in the background with sort of like a bit of a slur of words for the good rhyming pace. Then we go into Over My Head, Better Off Dead, which in my opinion is probably the best song on the CD. Has some excellent instrumentals and perfectly timed lyric. This is also sort of like is the best song on any other CD. The sort of like elongates the words in like the beginning of the verse, like I'm falling, falling, and it sort of like slams to the next verse. Now I'm in Over My Head, Better Off Dead, and that's sort of like a few screams in there and throughout like the whole entire CD, which I feel like it makes this their best album yet, and they did like a lot of maturing on this release. My Direction is a typical Sum 41 song with a medium pace that you can sing along to, but it has like parts that pick up the tempo and it really makes the song stand out. It also has like Sum 41 standards elaboration of every word in some parts. It's with sort of like a drum beat placed on almost like every word, like when will all my problems disappear. It has sort of like that weird drum beat like in between the words, which is all pretty interesting. Then we go into Still Waiting, which pretty much everybody has probably have heard. Song is rated number 2 in my books. It always has that fast, almost hardcore feel to it without it going like completely crazy. And it also has that hardcore feel because it's one of their more metal influenced songs. It's not a happy song either, which is oddly enough a change from any other CDs, which are more cheerful, i.e. Into Deep being uplifting melodic. And I really love like the solo like lead part in the bridge, which is just it's just really just catchy. And then following it up is ANIC, which I know, I think some people I've heard it stands for Ann Nicole is a stupid fucking cunt. But I mean, it's not really a song though. It's like freaking less than like 30 or 40-second song, which has sort of like an aggravated mishap with some swears, and it has like a snotty chorus, and then it's done. And then back to the album, which we go into No Brains, which I'm not sure why this is titled this, but the title doesn't matter anyway. The song is great, and the lyrics are good, and the pace is sort of like medium fast, but the best parts is like around a minute 16, when the song picks up lyrics and speed, and after the increase in speed, it kind of like mellows out a little bit. But then those screams sort of like get it in. The song finishes strong with another speed up. We go into All Messed Up, which is a good follow-up to No Brains. This song is most like Sum 41's other songs. The guitar riffs are energetic, and the words are enunciated between the drum beats. And there's sort of like a nice like change of pace around like minute 18. The best part comes like in a little over 2 minutes into the song. I can't really explain why it is, but just like how the words flow, and it makes it better than the rest of the song. Overall, the song is catchy and a little slower paced than like the others, but still a great song. Mr. Amsterdam hits next, and like again, it has like more of a hardcore rock song, but one of the more standout tracks on here. The pace is quicker and it has some killer screams with awesome pickups and like the speed and like the lyric melodicy. I mean, I don't really think that's a word, but you know what I'm talking about. And the instrumental part of the song is great too. And then moving on to Thanks for Nothing, which the opening guitar sounds kind of like something kind of like grungy, like Nirvana and so. But the opening is where it ends, and then the first song with rapping on it from drummer Steve-O, which is like one of the songs that he does like vocals on, or the only song on here he does it. And I don't think he does it live. Like I think it's hard for him to like play drums and do that part. But I just like I think it's this. But the song itself is more of a slower paced song, but it's not slow by any means. And it's rhythm and it's incredible. It's a nice compliment to the full rounded CD. And I just love like near the bridge has like the really heavy melodic metal part. Is just really great. And next song on here is Hyper Insomnia Parachondrioid. I probably butchered that. It's a great song too. The speed of the lyrics varies greatly perverse, and it has like a draw line followed by some slur line and a medium melodic line. The best part is sort of like some of the verses are compiled like right on top of each other. So which is just pretty good. Billy Spleen, which is kind of like a weird song. It kind of like starts off weird and just goes like has some like fast parts and then just sort of like a middle part and just some like weird kind of like parts in there. I don't know. It's a pretty interesting song. And then the album closes with Hooch. A good song, but in my opinion, I think it's a okay way to end this album. It starts off fantastic, but towards the middle, it sort of like kicks it down a notch. And then it has a really good solo, and it sort of like ends kind of like slowly and stuff, which is kind of odd, but it's an okay closer. Now, overall, Does This Look Infected by Sum 41 is a great CD and just like a nostalgic album for me. This is like one of those bands, like I said, that got me into more harder sounding music before metal eventually took over my life when I was like 10 or 11 or so. If I were to give this album a score, I'd probably give this a 9 out of 10. It's pretty superb. So yeah, that's my review of Does This Look Infected, guys. I know a lot of people are probably going to give me shit, but to all the haters. But yeah, I mean, I don't care if you don't like them. I mean, I sort of like this album just for nostalgic, but whatever. But that's my review of Does This Look Infected, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. And if anybody's going to see them this Thursday at the Bucket Theater, let me know. I'll be there. Just come say hi. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you all in the next video, and keep it metal.